Have you ever stared up at the night sky and wondered what is hiding in the dark? For a very long time, finding new worlds was a job strictly for top experts. You needed massive buildings, giant telescopes, and supercomputers. But in the year 2012, something completely unbelievable happened. An ordinary person sitting at home changed everything we know about the universe. This is not a story about a famous genius in a white lab coat. It is a story about a simple hobby. Everyday people were sitting at their kitchen tables. They were drinking their morning coffee and clicking on their computers. They had absolutely no idea they were about to make a massive, history-making discovery. To truly understand how wild this is, we have to talk about how hard it is to find a new planet. These distant worlds are called exoplanets. They do not make their own light like a sun does. They are completely dark, cold, and hidden. So, how do you see something that is pitch black and trillions of miles away? You cannot just look for the planet itself. Instead, you have to look for the shadow it makes. Imagine a tiny moth flying right in front of a super bright street lamp. For just one split second, the light from the lamp gets a tiny bit dimmer. That exact trick is how scientists look for an exoplanet in deep space. NASA wanted to find these shadows, so they built a brilliant machine called the Kepler Space Telescope. They launched it high up into the dark of space. Its only job was to stare at one single patch of the sky. Kepler watched over 150,000 stars all at the exact same time. It never blinked. It never slept. It just waited for any star to get slightly dim. It was the greatest staring contest in human history. But there was a huge problem waiting back on Earth. The telescope sent back way too much information. It was like trying to read every book in a giant library in just one day. The scientists built supercomputers to scan all this data. They wrote special codes to find those tiny dips in the starlight. They thought the machines could do all the heavy lifting. The computers were incredibly fast, but they were not very smart. They only found exactly what they were programmed to look for. If a planet acted weird, the computer would just ignore it. The machine would look at a strange shadow and think it was just a mistake. It would throw the data right into the digital trash. The scientists soon realized they were missing amazing things. They needed a totally new plan. They decided to do something crazy. They asked the public for help. They took the secret telescope data and put it right on the internet. They created a special website called Planet Hunters. Anyone with a computer and an internet connection could log on. They told the public to just look at the lines of light and tell them if they saw anything strange. This is where the story gets really amazing. Thousands of regular people started looking at the stars. It became a wildly popular hobby. People would come home from work, eat dinner, and then hunt for planets. It was like playing a giant cosmic video game. But the points you scored were real star systems. The prizes were actual worlds floating in deep space. Then came that fateful day in 2012. Two amateur planet hunters were looking at their screens. One was in the United States, and the other was far away in the United Kingdom. They did not know each other at all, but by pure chance, they were both staring at the exact same star on the website. And they noticed something totally bizarre. The light from this star was dipping, just like it should if a planet was passing by. But the timing was completely wrong. It was messy. It did not make any sense at all. A normal planet makes a nice even pattern. The light goes down, and then it comes right back up. But this pattern was chaotic. It was jumping all over the place. The supercomputers had already looked at this exact star. The machine had decided there was nothing there. It thought the messy lines were just bad data and moved on. But the human eye is amazing at spotting weird patterns. The two amateurs knew something special was hiding in that mess. They clicked a button to flag the star. They told the scientists they needed to look at this right now. The professional scientists opened the file. They stared at the strange, messy lines of light. At first, they were just as confused as the computers. The dips in the light were happening in ways that broke all the rules. It was challenging everything they thought they knew about how planets move. Then, the shocking truth hit them. The light was not coming from one star. It was coming from two stars. They were looking at a binary star system. Two giant, fiery suns were spinning around each other like dancers in space. When one star crossed in front of the other, the light dipped. But that still did not explain all the missing light. There were extra little dips hiding inside the big dips. The scientists did the math. They checked their numbers again and again. The amateurs were absolutely right. There was a hidden planet there, but it was not just any normal planet. It was a giant world made of gas, much bigger than our Earth. And the craziest part? It was orbiting both of those suns at the exact same time. Scientists call this rare type of world a circumbinary planet. This was an absolutely massive deal. They named the planet PH1b. The letters stood for Planet Hunters 1. It was the very first time an amateur astronomer helped discover a world exactly like this. It completely shattered the scientific norms of the time. Nobody thought regular people could find something so complex. Imagine standing on the surface of PH1b. If you looked up into the sky, you would not see just one sun. You would see two giant, blazing suns shining down on you. It is exactly like the famous planet Tatooine from the movies. You would have two shadows. You would see a double sunset every single night. But this is not a movie. It is totally real. Worlds with two suns are incredibly rare and dangerous. Space is a very rough place. When two huge stars are spinning around each other, their gravity is wild and violent. They pull and tug on everything nearby. Most planets would get ripped into tiny pieces, or they would get thrown out into the freezing dark of deep space. But PH1b somehow survived the chaos. It found a safe, steady path around both of those wild stars. It takes this giant planet 138 days to make one full trip around its twin suns. Finding a world like this is like finding a needle in a giant stack of needles. It takes incredible luck and perfect timing. And the story gets even crazier. As the scientists kept looking closely at PH1b, they found out it was not just a two-star system. Far off in the distance, tied to the same group by gravity, were two more stars. They were circling the main pair from very far away. This means PH1b actually lives in a four-star system. It orbits the two stars in the middle, but if you lived there, you would see two extra, very bright stars shining in the sky. It is a world bathed in the light of four different suns. It is a place so strange that even the smartest scientists could hardly believe it was real. The supercomputers completely missed this amazing place. The smartest machines on Earth failed because the universe is just too weird. The machines only look for what is normal and safe. But space is not normal. Space is wild, chaotic, and full of giant surprises. It took the human brain to see the truth. Humans are naturally curious. When we see something that does not fit, we do not throw it away like a computer does. We stop what we are doing. We look closer. We ask questions. We want to solve the mystery. The discovery of PH1b changed the rules of the game forever. Before this, many experts thought citizen science was just a cute, fun idea. They did not think regular folks could actually find real, hidden planets. They thought the math was too hard and the space data was too tricky. Those everyday people proved all the experts wrong. This simple hobby leads to a breakthrough that amazed the entire globe. Suddenly, professional astronomers realized they had a secret weapon. Their secret weapon was not a new telescope. It was us. It was the power of ordinary people working together. After PH1b was found, the Planet Hunters project completely exploded. Hundreds of thousands of new people rushed to join the website. Everyone wanted to be the next person to find a hidden world. Teachers, kids, and grandparents all became space explorers right from their living rooms. You do not need a fancy college degree to do this. You just need a lot of patience and a good pair of eyes. The website just shows you a simple graph. The graph shows how bright a star is over a few days. If the line dips down and comes back up, you just draw a little box around it. If enough people draw a box around the exact same dip, the computer system sends a loud alert. The professionals wake up and take notice. It is the ultimate team effort. The giant machines gather the light from deep space. The people find the hidden clues, and the scientists prove the planet is real. Because of this incredible teamwork, we now know that planets orbiting two suns are not just science fiction. They are out there right now, spinning in the dark. There might be millions of them scattered all across our giant galaxy. It completely changes how we search for life beyond Earth. Think about what that means for the universe. We always look for planets that are exactly like our Earth. We want one sun, nice warm weather, and calm blue skies. But PH1b shows us that planets can exist in the absolute craziest places. They can survive the wild gravity of twin suns. If a giant gas planet can survive there, what else is hiding in the dark? Maybe there are rocky planets with two suns too. Maybe there are worlds with strange alien life that look up at a double sunrise every single morning. The possibilities are truly endless. The most beautiful part of this whole event is how it connects us directly to the stars. Space can feel so cold, empty, and far away. It is very easy to look up and think that the giant universe does not care about us at all. We feel tiny and unimportant. But when an ordinary person can sit on their couch and discover a giant planet, space suddenly feels very close. The universe is right at our fingertips. The story of PH1b will be told for a very long time. It is the perfect proof that you should never, ever underestimate a curious mind. We used to think we needed billion-dollar machines to make history. Now we know that the greatest tool for discovery is human curiosity. The next great discovery is waiting out there right now. Someone, somewhere, is probably looking at a computer screen right this very second. They might see a strange little dip in the light. They might click a simple button. And tomorrow, we might wake up to a brand new world.